Hey everyone, it's Bethany from Beth and Books and welcome back to this book nook. Today I am sharing with you a tag questions video. It's all about books I wouldn't read, authors I wouldn't read, series I'm not going to bother finishing. And I did originally see this done by Noelle Gallagher, so I'll leave her video as well as the original creators video down below. It's just going to be a fun, random, quirky little video today, and by no means do I intend to offend any of you. If these are books you like, if these are authors you like, if these are genres you like, I'm so happy for you that you like them. But of course, as you've probably heard in other people's disclaimers, we can't all like the same books, we can't all like the same authors. That's just how the world works, so no offense intended whatsoever. There are 8 questions in this video and I'm going to try to do this in one take, al natural, just going with the flow, without wasting your time. But ironically, to potentially waste your time for like 2 seconds, please consider leaving a cheeky like and subscribe down below. I am a small little booktuber who is slowly growing and my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I'd really appreciate you clicking that little button down below. Okay, on with the video. The first question is a popular book that you have no intention in reading. My answer to this straight away in my head was P.S. I Love You. I just know that's a super popular book which just hasn't enticed me in any way. And like, I'll be super honest with you guys, the only times I really learn what popular books are if I see them on Instagram heaps or in book talk heaps, or if I research, like specifically research popular books for like video ideas. So I'm not 100% sure what are the super popular books at the moment, because of course you have different like subgenres within book talk, within Bookstagram, depending on like what your favorite genres are. I have no idea what super popular thrillers are out at the moment, aside from the ones I see that come up in Book of the Month all the time when people get their awesome sponsorships. So P.S. I Love You is the one that stands out to me the most personally. A classic, is that what it is? Yeah, a classic book or author you have no intention of reading. Straight away, guys, I feel like this is blasphemous. I never read William Shakespeare by choice. The only exception to this is I read Romeo and Juliet because it was on my 100 books poster, and so in a way I felt like I had to, because you know the poster was telling me to read it. I also read Hamlet was meant to read it when I was at university, and I haven't enjoyed either of those novels. I mean, unfair on Hamlet, because I read like 2 pages, then went to Spark Notes and wrote an essay thanks to all the people who help Spark Notes out with their notes. So I don't know what it is. Like, I know he's such a famous author, and I mean, never say never, right? One day I might read him. And a book specifically that came to mind was Tale of Two Cities. I don't even know if that was written by Shakespeare. Please don't hate me, guys. Please don't hate me. It doesn't make me any less of a reader that I'm not very familiar with Shakespeare. I know in the drama department at school he's huge. Like, it's a real classic author that they get inspiration from. But as a reader who wants to delve into books, I just find that writing style really hard to get myself immersed in. Like, there, I said it. I'm not a big fan of Shakespeare. An author whose books I have no interest in reading, Robert Pattinson. This is what I asked for. And this is what I got. And Lee Child. And I think it's just simply because I see their names everywhere, and I'm not trying to be that cool girl at all. I'm just... nothing about their books makes me interested in them. Somehow Dan Brown doesn't fall into the same thing, maybe because I read the Da Vinci Code when I was little. I say little, younger, early teen, and I was so into that whole mystery treasure hunt thing that I now I'm more than happy to pick up a Dan Brown book. But like Lee Child and Robert Pattinson, I don't know, just nothing about them makes me feel like they have anything different to offer. Let me know if I should pick up one of their books. An author I have read a couple of books from and decided they're not for you. I've got my notebook here because I have a little list here, team. First and foremost, Cassandra Clare. I read the first 3 books in the Shadowhunter trilogy, and I just remember thinking, what the heck? Now, I did read the Clockwork trilogy first, and I really loved that. I will admit it. I think I gave all those books 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read the Shadowhunter trilogy, and I was like, I really didn't like it. And so I now have no interest in picking up the rest of her books. Another person on this list is Adam Silvera. I DNF'd Infinity Sun, and then he co-wrote a different book. I'll find it and pop it up here. Which I read like 20 pages of and DNF'd. And so whenever I see his name on something, I'm sorry. I just, for whatever reason, I don't like his work. I'm sorry. Another person is Ruth Ware. I read One by One, and although I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars, I'm just not interested in reading anything else by her. Her book didn't wow me. And when it comes to thrillers, there's a lot more other authors that I would rather pick up from. I also have on here Josie Silver. I read One Day in December and did not like it very much. I just remember thinking the whole plot was silly. I've already said sorry to you guys, so if you like this book, I am sorry. I know it is somewhat popular. It almost seems like a love or hate book. For me, I really did not like it. So for me, that just means I'm sorry, Josie Silver, but I'm not going to pick you up again. So then we're on to question 5, a genre that you really struggle to get into. And this is so freaking ironic because it is all the books on this shelf I have right here. Classics. I've touched on Shakespeare. Here's a quick little backstory. I have a degree in English literature, and every time I had to do a paper, it was always based on classics. It was either like Victorian literature, Shakespearean literature, something that had classic books in it, and I never enjoyed reading the classic genre. Now, I understand that a lot of that will simply be because it was for class. I had to write essays on it, I had to study it, I had to really cram reading into a schedule, which meant it was no longer fun. And unfortunately, my first experience with classic genres, because I never read Shakespeare at high school, was at university under an intensely stressful time period. And I could go on a whole spiel about how my undergrad degree in English made me hate reading for a couple of years there. And it wasn't until I was in my last semester of my degree, going into my master's, that I started to fall back in love with reading. Like, yeah, university definitely killed my reading enjoyment for a moment there. And unfortunately, it's the classic genre that took the hit. My whole shelf here is, again, links to this poster, because I really want to make an effort to read classics when I'm now in an environment where it is purely for fun. All of these I have found secondhand for they're only $1 or $2, and I will slowly make my way through them. I have to say the one classic I've really loved is Pride and Prejudice, which is by Jane Austen, and for my birthday my mum picked me up this gorgeous edition which has all of Jane Austen's work in it. So there are definitely exceptions to this. It's just a genre I really, really struggle to enjoy at the moment, but I hope that changes. If you guys have any tips of where to start when it comes to reading classics, please let me know. I will be forever, forever grateful. Moving on. A book I have bought but will never read. Well, there's 71 of them in my unhaul video. I'm not going to go into them. Go watch that video. I feel like this month has been the month of unhauls and getting rid of books and refreshing my TBR, and now this tag, it just felt like it was the right time to do it. A series you have no interest in reading, or a series you have DNF'd. Alright, so sorry to do this again, but I will link you to the series video I just did where I reviewed a couple of books, series that I said I would read and then haven't finished. So there's like a bunch over there, but I also have on my list here the Peculiar Children series. I originally wanted to read this because, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but this YouTuber, I'm pretty sure it's his favourite books, his favourite series of all time. So I picked up book 1 and I just wasn't very impressed with it. Wasn't for me. Also, the Paper Girls graphic novel series. I read 2 of them during lockdown, and although they're super pretty, I just found the plot was really jump-starty. There were heaps of gaps, it felt for me, like the pictures didn't, oh, excuse me, the pictures didn't link up nicely. And then the last one, which has only just recently been put on my list, is the Maze Runner series by, is it James Dashner? Thank you to the person, I'm sorry I can't remember your name, I'll screenshot your comment and pop it up here. Shout out to you for pointing out to me Dashner's history of being sexist and abusive to women and just all of that horrible stuff. I'm no longer going to support him. Also, I've had the series goes downhill, and I'm sorry to say I enjoyed The Maze Runner. So at least I've got that happy memory in the story, but I'm not going to read any more of his books because I do not condone that behaviour. I do not support it. Was that it on my list there? It was. New releases I have no interest in reading. Again, I did touch on this briefly in my last answer to the question about popular books. New releases I only really keep up with every quarter of the year when I release my books I'm excited for videos. Wow, mind blank. And I don't necessarily go out of my way beyond that to see what's being released. I've got so many books on my TBR. I've got a whole shelf over here, and then I've got like YouTube projects on the go. I've got my Goodreads want to read shelf, which is like over 300 books at this point. So I don't actively try to keep up to date with heaps of new releases, but there are a few that I've seen that I'm just not interested in reading. In fact, 3 to be precise. Kristen Hanna's The Four Winds. I'm not saying never say never, but I've heard it's really, really sad, and I don't often want a book that's sad. I escape into books to be in a different world, to laugh, to just be there for the ride, not necessarily to cry, which this book seems to make people do quite often. Christina Lauren, The Soulmate Equation. I don't know why. The Unhoneymooners is on my list, but for some reason this book just does not sound interesting to me. I have no idea what it is, but the blurb just makes me think pass. And then the last one I have on here is Mackenzie Lee, The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwrecks. I remember enjoying the first book in the series, but I'm just genuinely not interested in finishing the rest. I think sometimes, you know, you've just got to say to yourself, I only have so many minutes, days, hours, weeks, years in my life, and only so many books can fit into that. And sometimes you just have to make those hard sacrifices, and those are some of them that I'm just not going to get to. That's just how it is. That's just how life rolls. That's the end of the video, guys. That's all the questions. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Enjoy all the places you go in your own reading adventures. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you agree, disagree, think I should give any of these books a chance. Let me know. What's one more, right? What's one more book on a want to read shelf when you're already over 300? Let me know. Give me your purpose. Give me your reason for putting that book back on my list. All right, I'm gonna go spin the wheel for you guys now. Bye.
Spinning the wheel for my beautiful subscribers.
Alright, I'm just going to balance this one on my knees. If you came from my Reading Like Euphoria video, then you're familiar with this position. Tarot card pull. Right, your guys' prompt is... Yo, it came back on, An arc. Okay, that could be quite hard if you don't have access to arcs. So 2 options here, I suppose. Read a book with blue on the cover. Oh no, 3 options. Read a book with blue on the cover. If you have a pile of books stacked anywhere, sitting on a shelf. Number 5, the fifth one, that's the one you're reading. Or if you have access to arcs, or even like a fresh new release, read that one. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.